joke is ignore the sequel.
Really? I know people who like the sequel. It's not bad.
It gets a little weird. It like the original is a classic, so I guess it just doesn't compare to like the original.
Hughes, the second movie, Hughes closer to the book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. It was based on books.
Yeah, I'm heartless.
Okay, we're all back. It looks like so. We're getting into the end of the session here, so I'm going to use my powers of narration to get us where we need to be. The town of Pinecliff.
Yeah.
Yes, Pinecliff.
It is an interesting town. A lot of the architecture is Calabrese construction, but you can see that here and there have been influences of foreign architecture. Certain buildings have unique shingles or carved stone statues out front of their places of business. And as you look around, you can see that about half of the population is actually, you assume to be from the far-off country of Zhongguo. You can smell in the street that there are scents of strange foods being cooked. There is a lot of shouting and conversation in this language that you do not speak that sounds kind of like harsh and abrasive to your ears. But it seems like the few Calabrese individuals that you do see have integrated, or I guess rather the Zhongguoese have integrated into the society quite well, because you people Calabrese, slurping noodles from wide bowls, and you can and you come across the tea shop that was mentioned. It is actually the largest building in the town. It is a double-story building that seems to be entirely of Zhongguo construction. It has kind of a palatial look to it. There is a sign out front with strange characters on it, but written below these in Calabrese, for those of you who can read, the sign refers to the shop as the Cha Yi Sheng, and then under that, Tea Doctor House. The estate, as I said, inside you can see people are going in. It looks to be a bathhouse of some description. In the back of the house, there is a side entrance that seems to lead into a small kitchen, and you can peek in. Some workers are outside. There's no door covering this one, and you can see that there's a staircase from the back from this kitchen area that leads up to the second floor. The second floor has glass windows you can see, but they are covered with curtains of some kind that are blocking your views into the estate. But Anushka, if you wanted to do a flyby, you could give me mind and observation to see if you can spot any other details about the building. I know, glass that you can spot. You can see through.
From what I understand, the Chinese actually invented porcelain because they didn't. Well, they invented such fine porcelain because they didn't have glass to make vessels out of.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, the whole discussion of like porcelain that's so thin that you can see light through it, right? I could imagine that would be very interesting as like a window, right?
Oh yeah, no, actually, in this time period, you'd have wax paper on the windows. There'd be that heavy wooden, like if you ever saw old European towns, they always have the heavy lattice wooden windows, and you just put wax paper over it. Glass is ridiculously expensive until like at least the late 19th century.
Yeah, I think in like other similar settings, I've just been saying like there's no windows; they have shutters.
Right, exactly.
You would have shutters, lattices, and if you were, on the first floor, usually you even have windows on the first floor. That's why those buildings are always that incredibly tall. You have to have those like windows up there on the second level so light can come in. You don't want any windows in the first level because you don't want burglars to come in.
Yeah, you don't want people to come in through those windows.
But it depends on where you are. So most of the time it would be wood. That's what makes the churches so expensive. Is like, look, we've got glass. It's like, you have our little tiny little shards of glass. Yes, but we colored them and arranged them in ways of, look, martyrs horrifically dying. It's like, this is what we spend our money on.
inspirational artworks in glass.
It's a glory to the divine. I thought building material things was iconography and like, get out of here, you filthy Protestant. And then 100 years with it.
Yeah. Well, we can retcon that a little bit. So it is obvious that whoever constructed this building has enormous wealth and it is on display.
Yeah.
But perhaps the wax paper lattice work makes more sense given the design.
We're not quite at the time period yet where you can make panes of glass.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was
gets,
concerned about. But
yeah, that gets expensive. But we forgot wizards. So, I don't know if wizards do it or not. A wizard did it. But yeah, no, this would be a rich house. First of all, it's a house. So if you have a house, you're rich.
Yeah, it's more like a tavern. Like it's a building. There's or like a bathhouse or something. People are going in. People are entering through the front and exactly getting clean. I think so. Once again, behind the kimono, I think the idea here is this is actually sort of like an Eastern medicine practicing bathhouse. So it's not necessarily people are bathing, but there's like acupuncture, there's herbal remedies and stuff happening inside, and people are also drinking tea and things inside this establishment.
I mean, there's a picture of a bathhouse in the Ironclaw book, but that's more like that's technically a Turkish bath, but I mean the Turkish style, the Italian style. But yeah, no, bathhouses are a big deal. That's where everybody goes to hang out. You can drink, you can hang out, you can exercise, you can get groomed. You may have heard of our favorite joke, Dr. Barber from Flapjack. Many time periods, the barber who cuts your hair is also an amateur surgeon.
Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we're all covered in fleas and ticks and mites because we're a bunch of furry things that don't bathe and actually waded through a swamp.
Oh, that's right. I have sharp objects for surgery. Would you like me to cut your hair too, everybody?
We're already here. I'm already shaving you. You might want me to pull some teeth out.
I'm already shaving you and pulling your teeth.
Yeah.
So, might as well take care of all this.
Yeah. So the important details then. I'm sorry. And you flew over to investigate this as well. So Anushka, as you kind of fly by, you can see that there is a slight tear in the wax paper on one of these windows. And you think that if you got up to it, you could peer inside, but it might be a little bit conspicuous to those who are around.
I have no reason to trespass.
Yeah, right. So,
but you have speed and low profile.
Low profile is for blending in with a crowd. It's not for committing blatant crime. Low profile was once we got into the palace itself, I could pretend that I worked there. But also, I'm just looking around the town, like being impressed that they actually have modern amenities. Honestly, it's like, dude, they have a bathhouse, and I'm filthy and have money.
Hey,
that's a good point. I too would like to not be filthy.
All right. Well, as you approach the Cha Yi Xiong, you can see that there is a cat wearing sort of foreign style robes, who is waiting out front, and he will hold up a hand and he will say, "There's no weapons inside the bathhouse, unfortunately." He shoots a look over at Harmon, who looks like he's ready to stage a one-man war against.
Well,
everyone.
That's okay. We've got the irregular. We can leave our stuff with the irregulars.
This is the location where they suspect the Blue Dragons are operating.
Oh yeah, but we don't know it's a criminal enterprise.
No,
and even if it is the base operations for criminals, it doesn't change the fact that if they own the house legitimately and are operating a legitimate business. But I guess
Harmon would like to talk to your boss.
Harmon would like to talk to the boss. Okay. The cat will look you up and down, and he puts on like a very placating smile. And he says, the boss is currently not taking appointments. But you could roll me a negotiation or intimidation or something at this point if you'd like to press the argument.
Let's see. So Harmon doesn't have either of those, I think. Despite being huge, he's not actually that scary. So I'll go ahead and try taking on a gentler attack and going, but my good sir, we have important business to discuss. I'm sure there must be something that can change your mind right here. And of course, jingling a little sack of coins. So I'm offering him money to just go ahead and ignore the rules. So what would that be? Negotiation and will?
Definitely will and negotiation. I think that's probably going to be it. How much money are you offering? Give me a ballpark.
Good question. Well, we've just been looking at how much days of labor are worth. 3 denarii would be, hey, you don't have to work for the day.
Right.
So
Is
I
that
will
what you're
offer
offering?
up. Yeah, I will offer up 3. And here's the roll.
I will give you a bonus D6 for the bribe.
2 successes.
Well, there you go. 2 successes. All right. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by a cat who I thought was out of the room. Give me.
I bribed the cat so hard, the real cat came in to distract. It's perfect.
You're now officially cat-free. So
in-game and out-of-game.
The in-game cat will nod. He'll just just takes the coins that you're offering, and he says, I can arrange for a conversation between you and the boss. However, your bodyguards will have to stay outside for this meeting, and it will have to be in an hour from now because they are currently quite busy. And when he says bodyguards, he's looking at Connor's men, and he's also looking at Harmon, who, again, pretty much anyone who looks like they're ready to murder somebody.
Yes, I understand. I can agree to these terms. We'll wait for the designated amount of time. Though
he doesn't think I'm with you losers. I'm gonna go book a bath.
Yeah, actually, which is what I was gonna say. It's like, you did say it would take an hour to arrange, and this is a bathhouse, is it not?
Correct. This is a Zhongguo style bathhouse.
Well, then I would love to enjoy some of your services while I wait.
He goes and he speaks to one of the other servers there. It seems like all of the attendants are cats. He speaks to one of the others in a foreign language, and he says, we would love to offer you free bath service while you wait for your meeting to begin.
Delightful. And
okay.
I'll go outside. I guess the only question is, does he see my my rod as a weapon here? Is that something he would want me to leave behind?
Oh, it's definitely a weapon.
Question.
It definitely is.
Yeah, he'll say that they have like a designated area near the front of near the entrance where people can leave their possessions specifically for this kind of thing, armor, weapons.
I will not be taking it. It's also been several days, non-pacifist again, so this is all fine. We swear.
All right. So who's going in to enjoy these baths? We have yes from Anushka, and we have yes from the doctor. I'll also say, if you guys want to try to smuggle equipment in, it might be challenging depending on the size and scale. I'm really thinking about the pistols that
I'm
Anushka has on her.
the
doctor will not try at all.
Yeah.
It's a bathhouse. We're going to be naked.
You're going to be pretty much naked, so I guess it's probably not going to be easy
pretty
to
much
do that.
naked. Have you been to a bathhouse?
You can still probably take stuff from the check-in and put it somewhere else for later.
Maybe try to stash it someplace for ease of use.
You can fly. You could literally fly up to one of the windows, set it on the windowsill, and then break the window later.
That
It's
is
made out of
intriguing.
paper. You would just hope that no one sees it and then climbs up and grabs it before then.
Okay. Harmon is being steadfast, which follows. The cat is going to be very adamant, though. He's not allowed inside the grounds with his items and weapons. So I assume that means Harmon will wait outside. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just tap Harmon and just say if anything goes bad, I'll just scream very loudly. I think that's enough precedence for you to enter.
Okay, all right. Well, like we said, so he's gonna wait an hour while we're waiting for the meeting to be arranged. Pressing the issue in air quotes.
Air quotes.
All right, sounds good. Okay, as I said, you guys have walked around this building. There's alleyways to the back. It looks like it's rather busy. There is a second entrance through the back that is like the staff entrance into the building. And from the staff entrance, which does not have a door, you can see that there is a staircase that leads to the second floor. When you're inside the bathhouse, you can see they do have baths. They also have a lot of tables where people are being massaged. And there is sort of a small eating area in the back. And from inside, you can also staircase. Seems like it's not intended for use by the clientele, the people visiting the bathhouse. It is beyond in like the serving area or the staff area. But it does seem to be the only thing that leads up to the second floor. And it's a safe assumption that whoever the boss is, that is where they're located, on the second floor.
Makes sense.
All right. After an hour, you guys are feeling rather clean, those of you that took advantage of the bathhouse. Connor, what are you doing?
Connor and Potter would have partook of the bathhouse while the regulars would have waited outside with their gear.
Okay, all right. So, Connor, Potter, the doctor, and Anushka are all in the bathhouse, and Harmon is outside, I guess, waiting for a signal or something to quote unquote press the issue. You guys have been given robes, essentially. They're foreign robes. They're very nicely made. There's signs of wealth all over this establishment, and you've been given these robes. And after an hour, said, "We appreciate your patience. The boss will see you now." And they will lead you to the back of the room and up the stairs to the second floor, where we do have a map. I think we have a map. We got a map. Come here.
Yep. Map time.
Map time. All right.
Hey.
Okay, so you guys have loaded in. You can see this location back here is the staircase that has led up. Imagine that there are windows, these wax paper windows all around. It's set intervals. You can see that this room, it almost looks like the cross between a library and some sort of like martial arts training facility. There are straw mats that are in the place of chairs, essentially, arranged at regular intervals in the first part. There's a small, slight raised dais at the back of the room, and there's a large desk at the far back. 2 rows of cats wearing loosely fitting robes are seated in sort of like a kneeling position, like they're attending court at somewhere. Beyond them on the raised dais, you can see a man who is clearly dressed as a Calabrese individual. He is a okay. He is a lynx.
Okay.
He's a lynx who's wearing an eye patch, and he's currently been tied up. His arms are bound behind him, and you can see like missing tufts of fur and bruising here and there. He looks like he's been worked over pretty good. He's sort of kneeling with his head down in front of his desk. Standing next to him is an incredibly imposing and muscle-bound tiger, also wearing a similar loose-fitting robes that these cats are. He seems to be the one who has brought this lynx here. and is presenting it to the final figure in the room. Sitting behind the desk, there is a tall, lean, blue dragon woman wearing elegant white robes that you can instantly identify as some kind of mage robes, magic user robes, but none that you would be familiar with as denizens of Calabria. I don't know that I'd be
Maybe
waiting for
my
a
knowledge
signal.
of supernatural might be able to identify it, but who knows?
You could roll supernatural if you'd like to try to identify it.
I'll give it a shot. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll 2d6 and d8 for 1 success. It's kind of foreign, isn't it?
It's kind of foreign. You can certainly identify that it is a magic user's robe, but it's a type of magic that you yourself are familiar with, and you're sure that it would not synergize with, like I said, the elementalist magics or the spiritual magic that you know of.
Right.
All right. As you guys enter the chamber, the tiger turns back to look at you. The lynx sort of looks over his shoulder as well, and he will be sort of lifted with one arm by this tiger, just by the back, or maybe like the scruff of the neck. He lifts him off the ground, and he pulls him to the side. You, as the dragon smirks at you, you can tell that this was part of a show of force, I guess. She doesn't know who you are, but she wants to make sure that you know that this meeting has the potential to go badly for you.
Right. The doctor's just kind of like looking and shaking his head a little bit. Terrible business every single time. He has perhaps been a little familiar with these kind of shows of forces. All for little old him.
Oh. Well, you're there with Connor and Anushka as well, if you guys want to pull your tokens out. And Potter, I assume, as well, too. Let me pull out.
He's enjoying the noble life.
Oh, you're leaving Potter downstairs in the baths.
He could. Yeah, he's enjoying the bath.
Okay, I'm going to pull out a token for Anushka, and I'm going to set it.
Yeah, I thought you could grab your character sheet and drag it onto the map. It doesn't seem to work for me.
It's not working?
You grab it by the name, not the image.
It's a little particular.
Yeah.
That's why I keep forgetting that. You have to drag it from the name, not the picture. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The blue dragon is smoking a long, thin pipe, and she exhales this strange blue smoke, and she says, "You have the audacity to bribe my men. Obviously, you do not know much about our operation here. Who exactly are you, and what business do you have with the blue dragons?"
I suppose.
I think I'm in the wrong room. I came here for a bath.
Connor, are you going to take that one, or?
I was going to let you. I'm sorry.
Okay. We should actually clarify then. The doctor will go ahead and ask, well, I can say it's a pleasure to finally meet you. We've heard so much about you already, and it's good to see you in person. This is my friend who perhaps you've heard about, this Connor de la Verde. Did I say that right? Is that actually correct?
Connor de la Verde.
Perfect. There we go. And I believe you've been causing some trouble in Fair Marouge, and his family is not taking kindly to this. As you've no doubt seen, and perhaps if you've seen downstairs, there's a very large and imposing figure who has dealt with your men before.
Yes, I have heard. They have reported to me. This individual, he's a bodyguard, correct? I cannot imagine that we have wronged him in any way. I think I would have remembered.
Very true. As such, he works both formally and informally for Sir Connor's family here. As such, though, you know what he's capable of, and he is a man who is dead set and determined on completing his contracts fully and efficiently. But that is why I am here, as I'm a man against violence and all this sort of. And I'll just like turn my head over to the captive and just turn back and go,
Ow! I hurt my lip.
activities in poor taste. I would hope that perhaps if we were to reach out a hand to you, maybe we could find another way to coexist than the current way we do. I believe it would be, of course, to everyone's benefit to turn over to the hostage, turn back, put an end to the senseless violence.
She nods. She's got a bemused smile on her face. All of her men are stoic. It's like they're waiting for the activation word. But she says, "No, I agree. I am sometimes surprised to see Calabrese who are willing to deal like civilized individuals in this manner. But obviously, if we could avoid bloodshed, that would be beneficial for all parties. So, how much is your retainer being paid? I'm sure that I can easily double the offer, and we can continue going on about our separate businesses."
Well, you see, I don't believe he is bribable.
Oh, every
I've known
man
this
has a
man.
price.
I've known this man for some time. We've traveled with him, and I've seen how he operates. If he takes a job, he will take the job, even to ending his own friends if need be. But he will not renege on the one he is on. I'm afraid that he is the rock that we must base our negotiations around. If you wish to avoid him and his contract, then we need to come to a different arrangement than merely a return to the status quo.
Well, what do you propose then? It seems like negotiations may be difficult if your friend is so inflexible.
This is true, but I work with what I have. Well, I suppose the key factor here, of course, is that it seems that you are doing some untoward activities in Fair Marouge, and perhaps in other areas. But yet, at the same time, I can't help but notice you have a perfectly legitimate business here that seems successful, popular, and, well, I have to say, lavish and quite wonderful. I've experienced the amenities here. Why do you feel the need to do these things if you're already so successful?
She will let your praise for her establishment watch over her, and then she says, "Oh well, we have done business very differently. This is partly due to our successes here, and I appreciate that you are fond of the amenities that we provide. However, we do not steal from those. We are simply, I assume the activity to which you refer is our attempts at reclaiming stolen property. I mean no disrespect when I say that your forebears are thieves of the highest order, uncultured and uncivilized, and they have taken what rightfully belongs to our great nation, the kingdom under the heavens. And until we recover all of these pilfered artifacts from your, from you foreigners, then we will have no more business, no more need to conduct ourselves such." And she seems to be, now she's smiling at the beaten up Lynx in the corner, who is trying to send Anushka coded signals by winking his one eye furiously. But as near as you can tell, Anushka, nothing's coming through. You have no idea.
Is something wrong? Do you have something in your eye? Why are you trying to send me secret messages?
I don't suppose Anushka could roll like her D6 mind and see if she understands.
So this is actually, there is a suggested use for skills in the book that are, I think there is like a complicated series of checks for sending coded messages like
I
this.
actually have the necessary skill to pick up uncoded messages. It's called Inquiry, and I actually have it.
Okay, so let's see if we can do this. Hold on, let me just pull up.
Who else but a messenger, of course?
Yeah, I have one success.
All right, and I think to send a secret message is mind and gossip being observed here, based on my notes. So let's see.
It's this was we came from the era of the long lost beautiful skill in D&D of innuendo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna roll
one of my
2d6.
favorite skills, and I miss it.
Mm-hmm.
He got a success as well. Okay, so this is what you managed to pick up from his like grunting and shifting and winking, and you get that he's trying to send you a message, and the message is a plea. If you can save him, he's gonna try to reward you somehow. It's basically just like, get me out of here.
Well. I like being a captive. It's great. I'm here of my own free will.
Maybe he's gesturing to the purse that he's got tied to his belt, sort of like nodding at it, like nodding at you, and like nodding at the window.
You mean he wants to leave now?
Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay.
Is that what he's going at? Like, is like we need.
He wants to leave now. He thinks that he's in very grave danger, and
he's been robbed off and still held captive. So of course,
yeah, maybe he thinks that like it is only serendipity that anyone came to interrupt his execution at this point.
Okay. Well, where's the window again? I don't see the windows on the map.
I didn't put them. Let me mark some windows here. I'll use my drawing tool, handy dandy drawing tool, and we'll say, we got a window here, and then we've got windows interspersed. Like these might be kind of large, but
not going to buy us a lot of time. My best bet would be that while they're sitting here doing the negotiations, and which one is he?
The one's on the left.
He's the purple one. He's the one with the hood. This guy right here.
Oh, bruh, there's way too many mobiles in here.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to somehow find a way. Yeah, and that's the big boss over here. As the conversation is going on, I would have to find some way to like pretend to be distracted and looking at all the weapons and stuff, and eventually get to here.
Yeah, currently no one's taking any mind to you, and this room is filled with books, with weapons, and with like sort of hanging scrolls or tapestries depicting things.
I get to this window, somebody might notice something.
Yeah, it's possible.
So let's see how far I can get. This is being brazenly deceitful, so this would be deceit. But I do have low profile.
Yeah.
Which means as long as more important things are going on, like the negotiation with the boss, I might be able to lean on low profile to, do a low profile.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, that's the use of this sort of thing. That is 2 successes, so you can rule how close I can get to the window before. I hope he doesn't think I'm going to carry him out because I am a tiny, tiny person.
You can hurl him out the window at least. Yeah. That's carrying him out.
You are, but I'd say that you managed to make it to. You probably managed to make it to the window, and you're glancing around at like the weapons and the scrolls. It is almost like a museum space. There's a lot of things on display to look at, and no one pays you any mind. I think they assume that you're maybe like you're the servant in this arrangement. The doctor's talking, Connor is regal, and you're just sort of like, ooh, shinies. So no one cares.
So with 2 successes, I'll try to open the window.
All right, okay. With 2 successes, well.
I mean, does the window just unbar and opens right up? Most things would bar in this period. Locks are expensive.
Yeah, I think so. I think you can slide the window, the bar open, right? And the window will, it can be opened, right?
Yep. I assume it opens up. Because if it's a shutter, it would open up and you could latch to that. There's the added advantage that it shades and doesn't let the rain in.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll open the window like it's no big deal.
Okay. At this point, you do get the notice of the boss, the blue dragon. She looks at you and says, please do not touch anything. But our Lynx has definitely taken notice of the window opening, and now he's just waiting for a moment's distraction, and you can tell that he's like getting his feet under him, and he's ready to basically throw himself bodily through that window.
Well, I'll say, but it's so stuffy in here. I will attempt to fake a sneeze and stumble backwards and knock over this display.
Okay, now people have taken notice. Well, let's see what.
I'm assuming that would
Presence,
be
maybe.
deceit because I'm lying and presence because I'm making a scene.
Yup.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to throw my personality into this because this is the worst job in the world.
Are you not rolling a trait for that?
I am rolling a trait for that. I don't have any deceit. And I don't have any presence.
Do you want to see presence?
And you don't have any like
All right.
mind.
Well, my body is a D4. My mind is a D6. So still, that's why I'm throwing my personality and then I get a 5, which would at least be 1 success, which would be enough to give him a D8 bonus to escape.
Okay,
If
I
you're
think
talking
we're
about
going to do
assist.
that. The other
Whether
thing I
they
want-
actually buy my excuse of tumbling over this, I only have 1 success. Anybody with any inquiry or anything could see through my ruse.
Yeah, this.
Ah!
Yeah.
Oh
you
no! Ah!
Stumble. It's maybe
Oh no,
not
the
the
ancient
best.
artifacts! I'm so sorry.
But you finally stirred all of the cats who are sitting, ready. Now you've gotten their attention. The blue dragon, you've certainly gotten her attention. Even the statuesque tiger turns and looks at you and shoots you just a vile look. But that's all that the lynx needs. He is on his feet, arms tied behind his back, and a moment later, boom, he has thrown himself sideways through the window. There's a crack of splintering wooden paper, and he bounces out onto the lower story. There's sort of like, I guess the roof kind of comes out a little ways. And you can hear shouts and screams from people outside who are witnessing this, and suddenly everybody is at arms. And Harmon,
Harmon
I
probably
think-
doesn't need a roll to notice that one.
I think you just notice, like, there's people around you who are screaming and pointing. I think you notice that something's going down.
He rolls to
Roll
be ready.
initiative.
Yeah, I
Okay.
remember.
Harmon
Yeah.
leaps up into the window.
Oh, hell yeah. Weapon is drawn. Okay. The dragon, apparently, I guess negotiations are over now that this has happened.
Well,
I-
I tried.
Yeah. I mean, so she's going to start swearing in a foreign language, and you can assume that she issues an order, and you can assume, and well, for the likes of you, these guys are all going to take rote. They're going to get up, and from beneath them, they're drawing blade rings. They're basically like circles of metal with sharpened edges that have leather
Holy
grips that
crap.
allow them. Yeah. They're each wielding 2 of them, which actually doesn't have a statistical impact. I think they are offhanded weapons, but basically it just looks cool. You'd have to disarm them twice. And so they're ready and armed. The tiger has no weapons, but he is taking a ready stance as well. And he's going to take his free stride to move a step closer to you all. And let's see. So let's do 1 round. Maybe we can quickly do 1 round of combat and maybe see if Harmon can make it up here, and then we'll stop for the debrief because we're pretty much out of time.
Okay.
But
Oh,
yeah,
holy crud. If I have open access to the window, I'm getting the hell out of here.
okay. The window is now a hole where a window, once was. So it's very easy for you to just step out before anyone can get to you.
Yeah, I'll recover from reeling and then go out the window.
All right. You can see below you that the lynx has bounced off of the first story roof, rolled, and landed pretty rough on the ground. But he's up and he's looking for something to cut his ties
Do
with.
lynxes get acrobat?
Ooh, that's a good question. They might be able to just land on their feet, right?
Yeah, they are a type of cat. I think they do.
Not all cats have acrobat,
True.
Not all cats, but
but
But it is a
Um,
lynx, a cat who lives in rough terrain. As
acrobat
opposed
is
to like a
free
panther
get up
or a lion.
action, and falling damage is weak.
right. Did I just skip it? Links. There we go. Acrobats. Look at that.
Yep. That means getting up as a free action and falling damage is weak. So he took the spill like a boss.
Yeah, pretty good. He's up and running. Still bound. Still kind of hurt, obviously, but he's booking it. And when he sees you over his shoulder, he gives you like a little nod of appreciation as he just like starts pushing past crowds that are gathering outside.
Well, I'm going to follow him as long as I can because I'm not letting him get away.
Okay, cool. What is everybody else going to do? I'm very curious to know what Harmon's move is. Are you actually going to try to...
Harmon has
awesome.
rolled to vault up directly to the window, it seems. Would that get him to the second floor?
I'm going to say it'll get you on the roof of the first story, which means that you can basically run up to the window from there.
Right, so we can drag his token over to said window.
Yeah. So, like, I would put you outside the building, but, like, right outside the window. Cool. Oh, you're going to come up through there. All right, okay.
Yeah, that's the one everyone's using, so...
Yeah, might as well, right? Okay. Okay. So Harmon appears, his form fills the opening, the ruined window almost entirely, like a portentous spirit. Yeah, it's the one that he fell out of. True. And this catches the attention of the tiger, who is not quite your size, but is still incredibly built. And it's clear from the way that he moves that he knows how to handle himself. And although he took a step towards these two, I think he realizes that you are going to be a real challenge. He's going to leave the doctor and Connor to the minions, to the underlings. Guarded and jumped. Cool, so you have your guard up. All right, so Doctor and Connor, you guys will each get your actions, and then we're going to call it for today, and we'll pick this up next week.
Connor, might I suggest jumping out the window?
Oh, yeah.
I will remind everyone that there are a bunch of weapons in here. A lot of them are pretty weird, but some of them are straightforward enough to act as the weapons you're familiar with. There are a number of swords that look sturdy enough. They're not
There's undoubtedly a staff here.
Yeah, so if you wanted to fight,
buckler away.
Yeah, you wouldn't have your buckler, but I think there's also shields. There's things that you could use as a buckler here as well. But you have to get to one of these racks.
But we're not necessarily interested in body count, and if there is an escape route that we can take, it's probably a good idea.
Probably. Although, I mean, Harmon is here to do a job. It depends if you guys think that he can do it all by himself. I mean, he might be able to do it all by himself.
Yeah, I don't want to lose the hostage, and because I want, we want him to talk to him, and plus also I'm, a lover, not a fighter.
Of course.
Well, where is the stairwell in this?
Stairwell's at the back of the room back here to the north on this map.
So Connor is going to run north on this map between the gauntlet and wait for someone to come deliver his stuff.
Okay, all right. That's right, because... Yeah, I like that, because he knows that he's got men. Those men are waiting for action to start, and they're going to get him his gear.
It's a dash of 4 plus 1 for the stride that is included, and then a run of 18, which will actually probably take him to the first floor.
It could, yes. So you're down the stairs. In the kitchen area, the serving staff hear the loud noise from above, but a lot of them seem unconcerned. They're used to hearing shit go down up there. And they basically pay you no mind. Where is that? They have guards on the first floor, so your men would have to fight their way to you. Yes, it might take a minute or two for them to get to you. But if you're heading towards them, you're expending time, right? And Doctor, you've got it looks like you're preparing something.
I was thinking of moving around. I will go ahead and attempt to rally Harmon first, just because he's here, and go, just in time, Harmon. Nice. And let's see. Gotta find my rally dice again. I keep Losing track because I'm silly. Here we go. Rally. There you go. Harmon, also roll your will for me. Because you are also going to get Flesh Ward. Congratulations, you have 3 points of Flesh Ward and you are not reeling. And then I will attempt to move. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to move over to one of the weapon racks here.
Cool. Okay.
That is going to be my turn.
All right. Theta is raising some good points there, Connor. Because I think the key thing that you can't find up here now that you could find when your friends bring you your gear is the armor, but donning armor of that type is gonna take a little while. So I guess in an effort for you not to waste a turn's action, if you would like to take that back, you can. If you still would like your favored use weapon and stuff delivered to you, you can keep doing what you're doing. That's fine as well.
Well, let's see where I was. Right about here, I'd say.
That seems right, yeah.
All right.
My cat is now trying to burrow through the door. Apparently, I'm mistreating them.
Okay, dash. Actually, no, let's go back here and sprint first. All right. Sprint of 5. And you get a stride after your sprint, or is that only after a dash?
I think it's after sprints as well.
All right, so that would take me there, and then I'll use a action to ready 2 weapons as ambidextrous, but because these aren't on my person and they are technically on the floor, that would send Connor reeling. He could make good use of. Well, I've got macros for a saber type weapon, a mace, or a dagger, or a knife. But whatever he finds there, I'll make macros for next week's fight.
Oh, cool. Well, I was thinking of keeping it simple. You can find a sword that is effectively a saber, if you would like to use that. You also find weapons that would act as daggers and use the same rolls. But if you want to we can get creative with it and grab the Book of Jade and find some actual weapon stats for these things. But we can do that. We're pretty much out of time, so we can do that between sessions.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so I think that's where we're going to leave off. The blue dragon will get up from her seat, and you can see her robes begin to billow with magical energy as she is pulling the metal, like shards of metal from within her desk, and they're hovering in the air around her. And that is where we're going to end it. So, real quick, we'll do the wrap up. You guys did complete a goal today of
delivering the
goods. Deliver the goods. So the idea, I was going to give you guys knack for vehicles for that. I think that might be the skill on offer.
That sounds good and trivial.
Right, it's a cart themed adventure, and you guys, I don't know, some of you might
all grab the cart at the last moment and try to keep it from going in the water.
This would mean we both have D6s to roll, and we can re-roll now. You don't need a dedicated person on the cart now. We're both as good as they are. And better.
Yep. So yeah, and you guys are hot on the trail. You are dangerously close to finishing this syndicate thing once and for all. I don't want to keep you over late, so I'm going to say I think everyone had a good opportunity to play to their motto at some point this session. So everyone take 2 XP, 1 for the session, 1 for some fine role playing. Victory or death. For me, I think it's really like it's the telling notions of like this dragon is ready to offer Harmon double the money that he's already making, but it's inconsequential to him. He is not swayed.
Oh yes. She knows what the score is right now.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So I think that is going to be it for this session. Thank you guys. It was a pleasure as always.
As always, thanks for running, and we'll catch everyone next time.
Yeah, have fun on your next game.
See ya.